Will you tell the American people to whom you lent $2.2 trillion of their dollars? Will you tell us who got that money and what the terms are of those agreements?
Hundreds and hundreds of banks, any bank or that has access to the U.S. Federal Reserve's discount.
Will you tell us who they are?
No.
There's an old saying, two heads are better than one. When you've got one person, Mr. Bernanke, making decisions on how to spend $4,000 for every American, sometimes things might go wrong, particularly when it's done in secret.
If you put out $50 billion to Credit Suisse, the taxpayers need to know that.
I'd be very concerned, Congressman, that if we published the individual names of who was borrowing from us, no one would borrow from us. The purpose of our borrowing is not to support individual institutions, but to support the credit markets.
Has that ever happened? Have people ever said, we will not take your $100 billion because people will find out about it?
We said we will not publish the names of the borrowers, so we'll have no test of that.
Well, what gave you the authority to say that? Isn't that something that we should be deciding, not you? What do you think might happen if people knew how their $1.2 trillion had been spent? Do you think they might be angry?
No, I don't know, obviously.
Well, you know, one possibility in life about why people want to do things in secret is because they're doing something wrong. And we don't know whether that's what's going on here or not, but there's only one way to find out, which is to try to shed some light on the situation. We can't simply take somebody's word for it when we're talking about $1.2 trillion. That's not good enough. We are a government of laws, not a government of men. And maybe Mr. Bernanke needs to remember that.
The Federal Reserve of the United States, besides the $13 trillion that they in Washington lent, spent, and guaranteed since 2009, they shuffled under the table to banks around the world $20 trillion, that's with a T, dollars worth of deals. They gave money to the banks of Japan, the banks in South Korea, the banks in the Netherlands, to Credit Suisse, to Deutsche Bank, to the banks in Ireland and England. They gave money even to the banks in Canada. The Federal Reserve gave these no interest or extremely low interest rate loans to corporations such as General Electric, Harley-Davidson, McDonald's, Verizon, and their buddies in the hedge funds. So we don't know these things are going on behind closed doors, and the only way we found out about it is because of that one-time reporting requirement that came about from that Dodd-Frank bill that was supposed to bring about a new type of financial regulation, and it really didn't. It brought back more of the same. So we don't know what schemes they're doing to prop it up, but what we're saying that in 2011, the game's going to run out. How? We cannot imagine them coming up with another scheme where they're going to be able to continue, whether it's in the U.S. or the EMU, to print this digital money not worth the paper it's not printed on.